now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
So from our media partners, the Standard Speaker, folks, this was in the paper the other day. Employees of a nonprofit agency that helps people with disabilities were told that they would be out of work by mid-April. United Rehabilitation Services is closing its Hazleton facility, along with facilities in Wilkes-Barre and Tunkhannock. Staffers in Hazleton learned Thursday. And when that announcement was made, and it was in the paper and our FYI News 13, the town sort of became very, very upset. Along with those people who are upset is our state representative, Tarah Toohil. She's on my show today to see just exactly what URS has accomplished in the years. I happen to be on the board of URS, and what happened. And before people are accusing everybody of all stuff, today we figured, as you always get on the Sam Lesante Show, the facts, folks. And I know sometimes facts are ugly things. So for those politicians out there, for all you Republicans, all you Democrats, put your hats aside and let's look and see what's the betterment of the town here, okay? So Tara, with that being said, first of all, thanks for coming on the show again.
Thank you for having me, and especially to cover this important issue.
Well, let's talk about URS, all right? And so for those people who do not know what URS does and the great asset it is, not only for Hazleton, but for society. Tell us about URS, and when you're talking about URS, we have some things we want to show the people as to what they actually do. So tell us about URS.
So URS, as you said, has been around since 1958. It's United Rehabilitation Services, and they provide a workplace where intellectually disabled people or people with developmental delays, they can go, they take the bus in the morning to work. They're able to learn, how much money you need to get on the bus, basic life skills, getting up, reporting to work on time. And then there's employees there that supervise them and help them accomplish the jobs that they're doing. So there's all sorts of different jobs. URS can be contracted with by any company in Hazleton or in the Northeast here. If you need someone to come and clean your facility, they do packing jobs, simple assembly. One of the bigger jobs that they've been doing for a long time is with Sergeant Art, where they pour in the different paints, pink, or, red, green, blue, yellow. They put those paints in the canisters for sale. So they are able to do a lot of different jobs, and it's a learning environment. And eventually some of the people that work at URS that are disabled, they're able to gain enough skills that maybe they want to go work at the grocery store or work at some other jobs outside of URS and in the community.
As you're speaking, we're actually showing some of the activities that they do at URS, okay, with the catering and a lot of business connections, as you said, that they did with Sergeant Art. But the most importantly, when I said about society, these are people that have a purpose in life, like we all want a purpose in life. And you'll be amazed. I've been up there a number of times, Tara. In fact, they did an on-location show up there when Kathy was there. And when you see these beautiful people that are working there, and you want to talk about a talent, it's just a wonderful thing that you see here, okay? And they're all happy. They're happy to be something to society. Now, with all the stuff that they do there, okay, what actually happened? Now, I said I'm on the board, and I apologize because I have not been able to attend some of the meetings, and this was a shock to me because I don't know if any board members were notified as it was going on. I certainly wasn't. But here again, look at all the things that they're involved with, okay? Industrial, catering, as I said, a lot of things that they're doing.
Plaques and medals for sports events.
Yeah. All right, so what actually happened that, took place that they have to shut down in April, okay?
Well, they've been suffering financially for a number of years, and the governor's office has been very responsive about this.
Okay, now I'm glad you brought that up. I don't want to interrupt you, but I said in the beginning of this show, let's put our Republican and our Democrat hats aside, because we have some sick people out there who are still ideological people that feel that, you know, you're a Republican and you are bad, and you're a Democrat, you're a good, or you're a Democrat and you're bad and you're a Republican. And when this nonsense in this life stops, I'll be very happy. So here's what they're doing. There's some people who certainly don't like Tom Corbett are saying it's all Tom Corbett's fault, okay? He took all these funds away. And it's all your fault, Tarah, because you are not doing anything for the town, okay? So before I throw up, tell me why, okay, that is not the truth.
It's not the truth, and Governor Corbett, in his budget that he proposed, he actually now, which is a wonderful thing, and hopefully we're going to benefit from this, is he proposed $20 million extra for disabilities and for...
So why are they saying he's cut the budget?
Well, he hasn't. What's happened is there was, for 6 years, so this is going back to Governor Rendell, because this has only been 3 years of Corbett. With Rendell even, they had not had that much money, and they had put, it's been flat level funded for disabilities. So not in particular with URS, but across the state there was flat level funding with disabilities. So now, after 6 years of flat level funding, this proposed budget coming up is $20 million. It's $20 million extra.
Okay,
so that's a good thing.
So let me go back, because here again, let's make this, because I know I get criticized for me siding with Tom Corbett. It's not me siding with anyone. What I'm siding with is the truth and facts, okay? Because if you say you're going to do something, you better do it, okay? Or because I think you are accountable to the public. You're saying that the budget was flat for 6 years.
It was.
In disabilities.
It was.
Okay. So it started with Rendell into Corbett. Now what you're
So you can't look at it and be like it was Republicans or Democrats.
Well, I understand that, but
yeah.
So now you're saying that there is $20 million more, okay? So the person who wrote this, you can sure thank Tom Corbett for that, okay? Again, does not have any facts. And in fact, if it was Ed Rendell, if it was the other way around, I'd say the same thing, okay?
Right.
It's not fair, okay, for a person who was uneducated and not learning the facts, okay? And this is, again, you know I get frustrated with this.
And it is frustrating. And part of the problem here with URS, because we're trying to analyze why are they in such bad shape, because there's 1,000 other places out there across the state that are like URS, but they're not having this type of financial trouble. So it's URS in particular that's having this financial distress. So there are issues with, when they bill for services, they bill right to the Treasury, and they're being told now, you know, they should have been billing more, they should be taking more money away from the Treasury in the way that they're billing for their fee for service. And there are 50 union employees that work at URS, and many of them I spoke with today, you know, they're not making astronomical wages. Like, one woman is getting paid $16,000 a year for a family of 2. Another woman that I spoke with today, she's making $25,000 for a family of 4. So those families, they're just getting by. And those workers are such hard workers that are right there with the disabled individuals, working with them, supervising with them, and really loving them and providing a good environment. So a lot of it has to do with, and this is a problem for financial distress on the state level with state employees, the teachers, with municipal employees. The pension costs that they've had from promises long ago are starting to really affect the budget that everybody's having now. So they have a big pension, an unfunded pension liability. And then they are saying that there's certain union employees that do have much higher wages than other ones in the Northeast region. So that seems to be like the real cost drivers that are hurting URS right now. But one thing is, with this financial distress that they're going through, is we have had more and more people reach out. Kevin O'Donnell from Can Do reached out. He said that he was willing, and he did. He reached out to all of the industries in Humboldt and Valmont and said, if you have jobs, packing jobs, copying jobs, any type of simple assembly, contract with URS, these individuals are here, they're talented, and anytime you contract with URS, it's going to help them to survive. If they can get some big revenue producing jobs for them there at URS, that's going to help them with their budget.
So when we're in this situation and we're trying to keep URS alive, because of as people are seeing, these people are wonderful, wonderful people, and they are offering something back to society. As a state legislator, okay, and when we're looking at who's to blame, well, there's not a matter who's to blame. It goes as running a business. When you're running a business, you have to look, you said something, sometimes when you're a nonprofit, you have to look at working something for profit, because then you know where to cut, what to do. When we come back after the break, okay, what will you be doing now? And an interesting comment was, okay, and here I go, I know people are going to say he's on the Corbett kick. No. When we talked, there was a question of saying there is so much fraud happening, so much abuse of the access card, so much money being wasted,
right.
Okay? Why isn't that money being funded? Well, that's what Corbett administration is doing, okay?
And there has been a lot with the access cards statewide
Yes.
that has been fixed.
Yes.
So on the state level, we were able to get rid of the cash back, and that's what people were abusing. When you see people at the grocery store taking money out, that's not the Pennsylvania money, that's the federal money from the Farm Bill. So we did in Pennsylvania, everyone out there was such an outrage, stop all this cash back. They're standing there, they're buying soda and cookies, and then they buy lottery tickets and they buy cigarettes, and the employees at the grocery store are outraged by it. And that was through
here comes
through
Corbett.
the administration that they did cut
so
the
Corbett
line on
comes
fraud.
in and he's starting to straighten this stuff out, but for some reason the other side does not want to give him credit for that. Okay?
And you're right too, because that's all in DPW.
Yes.
So you're able to take all this money
and bring it back to URS.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like the a catch-22 situation. So I guess that's why I get frustrated. And here again, Tara, if you were a Democrat and it was Republicans doing that, I would be saying the same thing. It just so happens that Tom Corbett is a Republican, and what he's trying to do is clean up this mess. Okay, so to blame him for this is totally unfair.
And they've been very responsive, and I spoke to the governor's office, and immediately they sent from Harrisburg one of the top people in the Department of Public Welfare, and he came to my office here in Hazleton yesterday. He went right to URS in Wilkes-Barre and is working on the finances because they're really trying to figure out the funding formulas that you're supposed to be getting a certain amount out of the Treasury, and if you're not getting out exactly what you need, or you need to be able to take more, they should definitely be doing that, especially when it's something like this that we want to fund.
Folks, I'm talking to Representative Tarah Toohil. Folks, we're trying to resolve the URS situation, and Tara is taking the bull by the horn, so to speak, to do whatever she can. But once again, folks, please understand the facts, okay? I know you ideological Democrats out there are a little concerned, ideological Republicans. As I said, folks, let's get rid of the nonsense, all right? This nonsense of, because I'm a Republican, I'm voting for Republicans, and because I'm Democrat, I'm voting for Democrats. We are in a mess in this country because of that, okay? Vote for people who are qualified. We won't have these situations, the greed, the egotisms that we have. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. URS is in trouble. Representative Tarah Toohil is here, but before we go to find out more about URS, remember my website is ssptv.com. I found something interesting, folks. I was on the website today, and I went to shows and hit the Sam Lesante Show, and every one of my shows are on there. There are a lot of great shows we did last year and the year before, interviews with people who wrote books. You got to go and peruse that. You're going to find them quite interesting. My email is sam@ssptv.com, and I have to say this, FYI News 13, brought to you by the standard speaker in SSP TV, has been going through the roof, folks. We have had hundreds of emails coming in, people stopping us in the streets, people stalking Lisa Sugar and Kenny Tara and my daughter Janine and my son Sammy, it's really excited about what we're doing, and I'm glad we upped the bar, and it's been great. And we have a great relationship with the standard speaker, and we're providing the information that we should provide. Now, coming to the Sam Lesante Show, folks, again, thanks for making us the #1 talk show in northeastern Pennsylvania. My guest is Tarah Toohil, Representative Tarah Toohil. Tarah, you took the bull by the horns, okay, and here again, we dispersed this information that, it's Tom Corbetts fact, when in fact he added $20 million more. It's like the educational budget, okay, where they're saying he's not for education. It's the highest educational budget he ever had, the state ever had, okay?
Ever of anyone.
Anyone, okay? And so it just blows my mind, and it just must grind some people's stomach that the guy is doing his job. What are we doing now to save URS?
Well, so what we're doing, I spoke with the advisory board right before coming over here and just let them know, what we're doing with DPW, what the governor's office is doing. I need to get the exact amount of money from them that they need and a financial plan on how they're going to get themselves through, because they basically need April, May, and June funding to stay alive till the next budget goes through, that we as the legislature put the new budget in June 30th. So the board there, that was the Hazleton Advisory Board, they're aware that there's big problems, obviously, and they want to know that how they're going to financially plan the next 3 months, because the biggest outrage with everything was that these wonderful people that you're seeing, that's Chad Wallace and Heather Miller. I mean, they are well known in this community. The two that you just showed before, they grew up here from Helping Hands. They went to Hazleton Area High School, and this is where they live and work. And they're amazing, wonderful individuals, and they're worthy of the jobs that they have, and they're worthy of us supporting them. And it is the government's job to support them, and the community has done a lot for URS and supported URS through a lot of tough times. So that was really the biggest reason why I reached out, because I have met these individuals, and they are brothers and sisters and cousins, and they are much loved individuals in this community. And so we're just going to try to get through the next 3 months, because the budget should have been budgeted. We shouldn't have any surprises that you'd have to close an agency like this. And now going into the next budget, at least I, as a legislator, can look at the money that they need and make sure that they're appropriately budgeted. But one of the positives is people, more than ever before, I had someone, when I was there just before, a man walked in from Schuylkill County, doesn't know anybody there, and walked in and he donated $100. He walked right in front of me to do that. I had an insurance agent from this area, Jeremy Baczynski. He offered to do a golf tournament for them. Obviously, Kevin O'Donnell and Donna Palermo, they're all trying to get work for the people here. So spaghetti dinners, Sand Springs offered to help. There's all sorts of things to give, and people have bottomless hearts in this area. So at least from a fundraising perspective, there's going to be a lot of positive things we can do. And from our perspective, as a legislator, I'm looking forward to being in close contact with URS and being able to make sure that they get through the next 3 months and nobody gets put out of work.
Well, I have a couple comments. Comment number one is that I've had a few of them on my show. I've been up there a number of times, and when you walk through those things, okay, I want to tell you, they are very, very intelligent and very, very smart. This one person came to me, and as soon as I walked in, and I'm not being braggadocious by no means, but everyone, oh, Sam Lesante, Sam Lesante, okay.
Yes.
And they told me shows I've done. They told me who my guests, I didn't know, Tarah, okay?
Right.
They told me who I spoke to. They told me, and had suggestions of what I should do with the shows and what we could do to better Hazleton.
Right.
It just blew me away, okay? And I walked at her saying, this is so great, okay? The second comment is, last year, we sat with a number of board members, and we were thinking of, at that time, to do a telethon. But to do a telethon, now, I want to do a mini telethon, but to do a telethon right, okay, as I did with muscular dystrophy in 1970 with Manny Gordon, and it was the largest we ever had, there's a lot involved. But I think what we should think about right now is trying to do a mini telethon, because during that telethon, you can provide much more information. Have the kids come on and talk about what's going on and learn so the community could respond.
Right. That's an excellent idea. And right now we're just trying to figure out for Hazleton URS, we want to help the Wilkes-Barre and the Tunkhannock URS because it's all three of them that were in jeopardy. But Hazleton especially, we do have a very large fundraising capacity because it's so entrenched in our community. So as we get the finances figured out, we're going to be able to you can hire URS and fund them that way for jobs that you need done. But also for fundraising, we're going to have to figure out, because they used to have people helping URS. It was called FERS. And FERS, if that's still available, that's a place that you'll be able to give money to, or that you could donate specifically to Hazleton URS. So we're going to figure out, we're just going to figure out how to stop the problem as it is right now. And then going down the road, I think there's a lot of support that this community has to offer that URS hasn't tapped into in a while.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We come back, we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about how people could contribute, how we can get this mini telethon on board, okay? And I'm sure, I can't speak for the standing speaker, but I'm sure I will get John Patton, who's always been there for the community from standing speaker, and Mark and Paul Ross and the group to help promote something that is great for society and for the great people that are URS. We'll be back right after this, folks. Thanks for staying with us, folks. URS is in trouble. We're going to straighten them out. We're going to do whatever we can to keep them going. Keep this in mind. Tom Corbett, your governor, kicked in $20 million in the budget that was stagnant for 6 years. So before we blame anybody, here's a guy that kicked in $20 million. And remember, folks, I don't care if he's Indonesian, Taiwan. I don't care. I don't care if he's Republican, Democrat, Independent. The fact is, the man said he was doing something and he did it, and that's the way I feel as Tarah. When we're talking about helping URS, okay, there is no, we will do anything we can, and we're going to do a mini telethon, okay?
Wonderful.
And I'm going to get the standing speaker, and I know they're going to be there, help to support us, because they've been there always for the community. And we're going to do whatever we can, put in a special fund or whatever, to try to keep it going, because it's just too good to let go.
And it's such a community resource, and it's needed. And the parents out there, they're saying, what can I do with my child? My child can't get employment at the grocery store, can't get an odd job, but I can't have my child home either, all by themselves during the day doing nothing. So it's a community resource, and it's something where they're productive, they're producing good products, and they're feeling a lot of self-worth. So it's important. And Redco actually is the adult daycare here in Hazleton, and that's for intellectually disabled individuals as well. And Redco is so overcrowded right now that there's a waiting list to get into Redco, and URS is actually supporting Redco because they take the overflow. So when I was there today, there were 10 individuals who are overflow that Redco can't even handle, that URS is supporting Redco as well. So all of these agencies are intertwined, and it's a lot of the same individuals that are getting help. So we do want to make sure that we get this cleared up with the financial issues, and moving forward, that it is going to be something that this community will be able to support. Well,
you know, here again, we have an organization here that's been here since 1958 and has done wonderful work, but for humanity purposes alone, and just for our society and helping our fellow human beings out, okay? And these kids, I say kids out of respect. I don't mean to, you know, but they call them, you know, the kids, but young adults,
right,
who are just learn skills and want to get up in the morning. And I'll tell you what, from what I understand, even when they're sick, they go to work. It's not, they have work ethics.
They're hard workers.
Yeah.
And the thing is, our community needs this more than ever, because we have people that are graduating now and they're scared to graduate because they don't know what they're going to be able to do with themselves. We have a higher increase of children that are being born with autism right now. So this is something, you know, we needed it in 1958, and we sure need it now too.
So, Tara, I want to ask you a question, okay? Because it always boils down to what's in it for me? What's in it for me? Okay, so here. Now, Tara, do you have any opposition?
I don't, and I'm very lucky.
Okay, so,
I'm
okay,
very
now,
grateful to the people in Hazleton.
But what I'm trying to, here's the point, okay? So they can't say you're doing it because you want votes, okay? They can't say you're doing it because you know, and this is what happens, the mentality of some people, not the majority, but mentality of some people say, oh, she's doing it because she wants to get the vote.
Right.
Or Lesante's doing it because he wants public. They forget to say, maybe we're trying to do it to help these poor, not poor, but these blessed kids that, you know, God gave a special talent to, and I wish we all would have their talents and their respect that they have for people. They have no prejudices.
Right. I was just there today, and it's amazing being around them.
How many hugs did you get?
I got a lot of hugs.
Yes, yeah.
But there's a special light that they have.
Yeah.
You had to beg me to come on the show today. I didn't even want to come on the show. And I'm just reflecting the people out there in this community, the mothers, the workers. They all are coming to me and saying, let's do something about it. And they're right. We're going to do something about this.
Well, Tara, thanks for coming on the show. We're gonna have a mini telethon.
All right.
We're going to talk about it after the show. And I got some ideas, and we're going to do that. And folks, thank you so much for participating. And folks, it's all constructive here. You know, I don't have any particular agendas, okay? All I know is when someone tells me they're going to do something and they're representing the public, if they do it, then I think we should thank them for it. If they don't do it, then get rid of them, and because you've got to hold them accountable. And that's what we're doing here, folks. So I'm looking forward to a spirited debates with the Canada government, the people who are running for governor. We already have Corbett coming on the show, and we have contacted McGuinty, we have McCord and Wolf, and whoever is running for governor, they've been contacted, but we have a commitment from Tom Corbett, and we have some commitments coming up, probably for the November, the general election. We'll see you next time.